wanna do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you wanna do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Come?
Alright, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road. Steve's fault. Hey, Joe and Amy. What weighs more, a ton of bricks or a ton of feathers?
They both weigh a ton. My guess is they both weigh a ton for 100.
The ton of feathers, because you have to live with the weight of what you did to those poor birds.
See, and it's. I was gonna say you've been watching video games for all our channel. Amy hates birds and talks about it all the time.
I kill them.
Only in Pokemon, not in real life.
Yeah,
Disclaimer.
no.
Throwing it out there.
The feathered ones know their sins and that they deserve what is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, everybody, to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Boater.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Amy.
Taco Pill noting that we are 4 minutes early. Indeed, someone who shall remain unnamed. Hey, have we mentioned that Steve's our producer today? Thank you, Steve, for all the hard work you do every week here on the Nerd Glasses Podcast.
For hitting shift and also hitting 1, so we cycle through Cam View, Trailer 1, back to starting soon.
I like how you still have those keyboard shortcuts set up, even though the Steve deck isn't here anymore.
It's over there. I got it.
It's fine. Anyway, it's nobody's fault. We decided to start early rather than start the countdown over again. It's certainly nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. Welcome, everybody.
These are reasons why I fight for not having a timer. Tom hates not having a timer. He yelled at me.
I love having a timer. Maybe you shouldn't just boop at the buttons. Or maybe whoever would remain blameless should just not boop at the buttons. Anyway, welcome everybody. I'm super excited for both of you to be here. Thank you so much.
sure.
We're very happy to be here as always. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave is enjoying sunshine on the West Coast, I assume.
I'm jealous.
Yeah,
Although
right.
we've got some good weather here ahead pretty soon, so it's not bad. It's
It
not
was
bad.
pleasant today.
It was.
I was surprised. But
Yeah,
it was
like
nice.
I work outside, much to the chagrin of my younger self. The first year that I worked that job, I was red as a lobster because
Nice.
I started June.
Yep.
I had no time to work up a tan. So, but yeah, so it was nice out. It was good. So, usually at the start of the show, I like to find somebody that did an oopsie doopsie on Twitch. Somebody that got banned for reasons. Usually I like finding ones that are new and interesting, and this one is new and interesting. If I say the account Walmart 00012, what sort of content do you think that Twitch stream would have?
Ooh, like searching for deals, like eBay purchases and things like
Okay.
that would be my guess.
Okay.
I'm going to guess like somebody is filming people's butts in Walmart, right?
It's just
Like,
people of Walmart as a live stream.
Right.
Okay.
I like that.
That's
a better
closer.
guess.
Just their butts.
That's a better guess.
That is closer. An anonymous Walmart employee started streaming from one of the demo PCs inside of the Walmart.
Oh.
So
Wow.
it just was on with the webcam that is on
Yeah.
like the laptop or whatever. They downloaded OBS and made up an account and started streaming.
Wow.
Nice.
And aside from some, because I guess they had access to get past like the demo mode or something. When I read about it, it said it was a customer, but then I was like, oh, that outlet clearly didn't know what they were talking about because anyway.
Yeah.
They were able to get past the demo mode, download the thing, and then just nobody else knew or possibly didn't care. And so for a while, it went kind of unnoticed. It ended up streaming for a total of 37 hours.
Wow.
you know, a couple little like hiccups for like network connectivity in the store being a little spotty, but and only like it started to get big in like the early morning hours, and people in chat going wild when an employee was about to bring a cart by, just yell cart, you know, because they could hear it. Oh, I went down a different aisle. Oh, come on.
Amazing.
Entertainment, man.
Amoxicillin asking, but why? Because why not? Because they could, until Twitch was like, yeah, that is an invasion of privacy for people that don't know that they're being streamed.
Yeah.
And it ended up getting banned.
Yeah. Especially, do you remember where the Walmart was? Did they say?
I do not know off the top of my head.
Because certain states, if you're filming, like, sorry,
do you have
I'm
a
a lawyer,
reasonable
sorry.
expectation of privacy?
Right.
And, yeah.
Right. But there are certain states for filming specifically where if you're filming and you're filming like yourself and another person, and the other person doesn't know that they're being filmed, some states that's cool.
Yeah.
What's up, New York? Some states that's not cool and you can't do it. So
Yeah.
that's another
it's
thing as
the
well.
thing with like phone conversations of single party consent or
Yep.
dual, double,
Sure.
both
Something like
party
that.
consent. Yeah.
Yeah, so that goes
yeah.
for visual and audio
Yeah.
Okay.
recordings.
Yeah.
My state is one person permission. That one person is me. Yeah, so it's that could have been a reason why, but it also just could have been that even if it's you know, legal in the state, it's against Twitch
Sure,
policies.
absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
They
Sure.
definitely
Yeah.
so.
So Twitch was the one that took it down, not Walmart.
Yes, Twitch banned it. It wasn't that Walmart found out and like cut the connection or something.
Yeah.
It was that account is suspended.
Wow.
And you can't watch the VODs anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
of
yeah.
everyone going wild yelling cart.
Well,
no.
we've that what a tragic loss for society.
Absolutely. This is why the Library of Congress exists, so we can preserve these great works of majesty. Yeah. So that's Walmart 00012 banned on Twitch this past week.
Wow.
But it's weird because it's normally my segue is that someone who had a bad time this bad. No, that was just a good time up until it was taken down. So,
Fair enough.
so I guess my segue is going to be some of these may possibly be coming to a Walmart near you. What games are coming out in the next week or so?
Sure. So we have a couple of games here, and by a couple, I mean 3. So on April 11th, we have Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened,
Okay.
which is actually a remake of a 2007 PC game, and it's coming out for all next-gen consoles. And it says from our Ukrainian friends at Frogwares.
Okay. Oh, what Frogware sounds familiar. I don't know off the top of my head what they've developed before, but yeah. So I know that Dave actually got you this list, and some of them
Yes.
you were able to look up ahead of time.
Yes.
But not knowing much about this because it's a remake, I wanted to get take the temperature of the room here. What are you guys' thoughts on like? We're seeing so many more remakes right now. Like, what are kind of what are your thoughts on how many remakes and remasters and stuff we're seeing? Because like, I wish that it's one thing with consoles, I guess, because it's hard to play a PS3 game on a PS5.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it's nice when it gets remade and it's almost game preservation,
Right.
Sort of able to play it,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it's like just make something original.
Sure.
So I don't know if you guys had particular thoughts on that.
For me, I find it interesting because I think a lot of the games that I play when I play them, I'm seeing them for the first time
Yeah,
recently because I didn't grow up with video games.
that's fair.
So, going back to an old game and seeing the graphics be as poor as
Yeah.
they were back when
Yeah.
it came out originally is sometimes kind of tough.
Yeah.
Because then you're looking at it and you don't even necessarily know what you're looking at, or it makes it a little bit harder for you to enjoy in this day and age,
Yeah, no, I will definitely agree with that. I tried to get into Final Fantasy VII about 20 years after it came out, and I couldn't.
Okay.
I was like, this is a classic, and I couldn't. And so that is something where like the remake, it's not the same game.
No.
They Square Enix has done a very good job in differentiating it from the
Yeah.
previous game, but I'm a lot more likely to get into that.
Okay.
So
See,
yeah,
and-
that's a really good reason that these classics can be there for a new audience.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this to a degree, but I mean, the way that we play games. I mean, if people are unaware, we play games on our YouTube channel, and I get to, like Amy said, I get to show her all these old games that she never got to experience. But we're doing it as often as we can. We're doing it on original hardware.
Yeah.
So, when I was playing Ocarina of Time with her and had to redo the final Ganon fight 3 times, sometimes the game freezes and it's old hardware, right? Whereas if it's the remaster on Switch or whatever, like it's
gotta have an
probably a little
easier
bit
time.
better. But no matter how it happens, it's a way I think it's a good way for like newer generations to be able to get access to these things, even
these
if
classic
their
stories.
parents didn't get the opportunity to own it or
Yeah.
keep it, or if they just, whatever. So,
Yeah, like with film, it's a lot easier to go back and experience a classic film, say Seven Samurai, and like it might be hard. This could be the equivalent of graphics. It might be hard for someone to go and watch like a slower paced samurai,
Right.
Japanese cinema, whatever. But it's still doable, and it's been like in many ways kind of readapted and redone, whatever.
right.
Sure.
But it's easier to go back to older films than it is to go back to older video games. So
Right.
remakes and remasters are a way of making that available. Cool.
Right.
The other thing that's
yeah.
cool about it too, though, like it makes me want to see the remake if I see the old one.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, I just played, Pokemon Red, and then I'm like, oh, okay, when we play Pokemon Fire Red,
Yeah.
now I get to see like, oh, this is so much cooler than the original version
Yeah.
was in XYZ ways.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
direct comparison can be really cool.
Yeah.
Max is still asking, is the game the same genre/format as the original? My guess is yes. I looked up Frogwares, and they words. Sorry, I looked up Frogwares, and they've been developing all of the Sherlock Holmes games. So this being kind of returning back to that, I assume is going to be like very similar in ways to that, at least in the style of game. Like I'm looking at here on the trailer, it does kind of seem like it. So
Yeah.
Demon Dragon Dave is enjoying sun on the West Coast, so we are left here filling for his. Do we? I was gonna say his shoes, but then I'm like, do we have a hat here? No,
don't
I
think
guess
so.
we don't have the San Francisco hat easily available.
Oh,
so.
I mean,
Big hat to fill.
it surprisingly fits on my head. That like never happens.
I was
so.
I was a little surprised. I'm always in favor of taking something old, bringing it up to speed for audiences today, but preserving the spirit. Yeah, definitely. Like I'm looking forward to playing Diablo 2 Resurrection pretty soon, which
Okay.
is the same game but with modern graphics and
Yeah.
such. Like they took great pains to keep the underlying game the same.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That's nice when they do that.
Sure.
So, what else have we got?
Next.
We've got on April 18th, we've got God of Rock. It's a rhythm fighting game with a cartoon style where you beat to the beat.
Thanks, Dave.
Multiple game modes and characters are sure to keep this one on the turntable for a long time. Releasing for the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PC, and Switch.
Okay. So I'm trying to like figure this out looking at it right now. So okay,
you
so
can
it's like a
see it
2D fighting game that is okay, so it's
It looks like Guitar Hero, but instead of like
it's like the bottom your interface looks very Guitar Hero.
Yep.
The top looks, like Mortal Kombat.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I want to try that. Like I button mash at best
Yeah.
my way through fighting games.
Yep.
And I'm not great at rhythm games, but I'm certainly pretty darn decent.
Right.
So
I was
yeah.
gonna say it kind of reminds me of like Dance Dance Revolution a little
Sure.
bit.
Yep.
Sure.
I just I like seeing ways that the rhythm game genre is being reinvented, because Hi-Fi Rush that came out earlier this year as that kind of 3D beat 'em up style game, but if you make attacks on time with the beat and such like
Yeah.
that. So gone are the days of the big plastic instruments. That was that was the rhythm game of 15 years ago. So it's interesting to see how the genre is being reinvented today. So I am definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, it's very interesting for sure.
Finally a fighting game I can beat my husband at.
Nice.
Dude Icarus, going back to the remake thing, games less than 10 years old shouldn't get remade. Cough, cough, Sony. Agreed.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, sure.
how many remasters of Skyrim have there been?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a re-release with new stuff, and sometimes it's like, what are you... Okay, anyway.
Yeah, I know. Aren't there like 5 different versions of The Last of Us at this point, with the original, the sequel, the remake of the original, really, whatever, and like... So,
And
yeah.
new PC port as well.
There you go. And the new PC port.
Okay.
Don't ask me, man.
That's fine.
And then
That's
the
fine.
last...
Okay, so this... sorry, what was
No,
the name
please.
of this one again? Because I'm actually going to open... I'm going to keep a note, which I mean by opening a tab on my browser and then forgetting about it for 3 months.
God of Rock.
God of Rock. Got it. And next?
So that was April 18th. Also on April 18th, we have The Mage Seeker, which is a League of Legends story.
Ooh.
It says, telling the story of Silas, a magic caster who has escaped his captors, the Mage Seekers, using many elements, try to take your homeland of Demacia, I apologize.
Demacia.
Demacia, thank you, back and prevent the continued persecution of magic users. Releasing for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Windows, and Switch.
Awesome.
Sorry, Mac users, I guess.
So this is looking kind of... Okay, I like the art style of that one. It kind of looks, I think, sprite based.
Yeah, it
sort
looks-
of. That,
yeah.
Or at least has that kind of vibe to it. Riot, I think, is finally doing a really good job of breaking out from their one game. Like for 5, close to 10 years, they were just League of Legends.
Yeah.
And now they're doing a great job of storytelling, still in the one continuity, but branching out into different games. So this is another really cool one to see. That I haven't played League in... I don't want to say the number of years. I've said that too. I've said number of years too many times already this stream.
I do know that at least one, I can talk to Amy about it later, but there's at least one person who used to write for Magic that when they left, Magic the Gathering, by the way, sorry, that's... For people that don't know that that's like the main content that we produce, I can't just say Magic.
It's kind of their shtick.
Yeah, Magic the Gathering. So somebody that used to write for Magic the Gathering went on to write for League of Legends. So
Okay, cool.
they may have been. I don't actually know if they've been involved specifically in this, but I know, like, following him on Twitter, he often talks about League of Legends lore and things like that. So,
Demon Dragon is I guess I would describe it as kind of on again, off again League of Legends player.
Okay.
More on than off, but still. The Ruined King game that Ryan put out a couple years ago was really good. And then stopping League is like stopping smoking. It's just better for your health. Oh my. And then every now and then they have one of their insidious big tobacco ads that makes you go, maybe I should go back. And you're like, no, maybe I'll just watch the ad. Anyway, I really liked Arcane.
I feel like this game looks a little bit more like a mobile game
ooh, okay.
Yeah, I can see
Than
that.
most
So
other stuff.
and so
Is that just me, or
maybe
is it
not
kinda
like maybe
that?
not like on phone mobile, but certainly something that like is gonna be a really good one on Switch.
Yeah, more handheld
Okay.
style. Yeah.
The last game I played that had this kind of art style is Moonlighter, and that's one that my friend that introduced me to it played on Switch a lot and was just like take with him and go. It does look, it looks like it's a single player adventure, so it is the kind of thing that you can drop in, drop out kind of thing.
Right.
As opposed to like, I don't do multiplayer games in general. That's a big reason why I stopped playing League, because I don't like being paired up with randos to play either with or against.
Right.
But something single player like this is the kind of thing that I can absolutely just drop in and lose a weekend or two.
Yeah, and it doesn't say, at least again from a quick glance, it doesn't look too complex. It looks like you've got like the choice of 4 different spells and like your whatever your like different attacks and stuff are. So it doesn't seem too, like I said, too complex. But
yeah, so that is again coming out April 18th. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Dave, for
exactly. Thank you, Dave.
helping bring that list together.
yeah,
And there's one more thing coming out this weekend. If you would like to share with us.
Yes, we spoke about Magic the Gathering. We've got a set coming out in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, it is March of the Machine.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing some videos on it. We're gonna be streaming it for a long period of time.
Yeah, on Thursday we'll be streaming. We have the early access stream, which I probably have to say we are being sponsored by Wizards of the Coast, the company that makes Magic, as many streamers are that day. Will be exclusive to content creators, streamers, what have you. We'll have early access to the game on Magic the Gathering Arena. So people that are interested, check out Twitch, check out YouTube, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific.
Yes.
Going for we'll be doing it for 12 hours, but it'll be going for over 12 hours. So
It's
anytime
probably like a 24-hour pre-release window, and then
I think so. Yeah.
Then it's available.
Yeah. So 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. their time, or
Yeah.
1 p.m. to 1 p.m. our time, kind of a thing. And that's this Thursday. But yeah, it's basically the new set is kind of the culmination of the big story with, for those of you who may be old Magic fans, this is the culmination of the Magic story with the Phyrexians having
Yes.
come back and having completed some fan favorite planeswalkers and turning them into Phyrexians, and now the remaining planeswalkers have
Some
to
may say many.
some may say many, yes, yeah. The remaining planeswalkers and the remaining planes that we've been to recently have to fight back against the Phyrexians and try to take them out once and for all again.
Right.
So
So if there's a certain set or a certain plane that you remember from way back when, and you're like, that was the one cool one I liked, they're probably gonna be in some way
Featured.
referenced
Yep.
in
Awesome.
this set, because it's basically the Phyrexians are taking over the world.
yep.
So
I see Taco Pill mentioning Ravnica. Ravnica will absolutely be represented for sure. So yeah, big time.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned this way, but it's cool that the two of you are here, right before that.
This is our busy week. Tomorrow I'll be going down and filming at our sponsor store and opening lots of product. Thursday is the stream.
Check that
Friday
out.
is going down and opening more product. But yeah, it's always fun. The joke that I made for the video that I'll be making tomorrow and that will be coming out on our channel is that I love playing with house money. Because I don't have to spend $2,000 on the product that I open and then show everybody what I get.
Thankfully,
It's
'cause we
the
don't have
store's
it.
money. No, we don't have $2,000 to spend on Magic product. But yeah, so that's always fun. Is like just opening shiny, flashy, fun cards. So
if people are interested in seeing that or your pre-release stream, where can they do that?
both of those, thank you, will be at youtube.com/@geek4all. Geek4all.
Yeah, YouTube now has like 3 or 4 different ways to
Yep.
personalize your URL.
Yep.
Basically, if you search Geek for All, we're there with the D20 with the G in it, the G4A in it. But
Yeah.
you can Geek for All or youtube.com/Geek for All
or
find us
slash channel
anyway.
slash geek for
Exactly.
It's
It's ridiculous.
consistent.
Yep. You'll see our faces, so
Yeah.
that'll help.
Yeah. So awesome. Well, thank you. Oh, thank you, Taco Pill, for sharing
Oh, look at that.
the channel right there.
Thank
you.
Make sure
you. you
go there and ring that bell.
That's
so
right.
So that you can know when they go live with that. So, so again, that's what's coming out in the next little bit, and that's what you're looking forward to playing in the next few days, and what
Big
you're
time.
going to be doing. What have you been up to lately? Like, what have you been playing? What have you been watching?
You want to take this one or you want me to?
Well, we just recently finished playing Paper Mario, The Thousand-Year Door.
Okay.
So that's going up on our other channel, Video Games
Yes.
for All. But yeah, we finished that one recently. We just finished streaming God of War 2 for the PS2.
Yes, on the PS2.
Yes,
Okay.
I said on old hardware.
on,
like,
the,
Yep.
on the original hardware. Nice.
I like to add that little piece in so
Yeah.
people realize that if it goes out,
Yeah.
it's not our fault.
and the
Yeah.
loading screens are real. We
Yep.
just sit there and chat like it happens.
Yeah. I there was a. I'm not gonna say how many years ago, but at one point I did just trying to get a bunch of subscribers in a month and did a video every day.
Sure.
And one of those weeks was Intellivision week because the Intellivision is a console I had growing up.
Nice.
And I had gotten a used one But like the whole interface was so bad that everything was just like there was a fine layer of static over everything.
Awesome.
It worked okay. At this point, it's hashtag aesthetic. But,
Yep.
but yeah, like I have actually done a couple things with capturing PS2 footage, and that's a trip sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, thankfully it hasn't been too difficult for us, but it happens sometimes where, we're thank you.
Yeah.
where we're stuck in a loading screen for like that half a second too long where you're like, "Oh god, did it break?" And then it comes and you're like, "Thank God."
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've had something break during a loading screen, but there have been times like there was just a good like 1 minute where Dave and I were staring at one for Recore on the Xbox One, and it was just like, well,
Quick stall. By the way, I loved what Amoxicillin said. I don't know much about magic, but I'm told Nicol Bolas is innocent.
Oh, well.
You may have been misled.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I can't say I fully agree with that. Don't hate the guy, but I can't say I fully agree with that.
Yeah, his brother Ugin isn't the best person either, despite how he holds himself out. But that's magic lore for you. So.
I like how you equivocated a little. You may have been misled. I expect nothing less of those in the legal profession.
You're welcome.
Yep.
So,
God of War 2.
Yeah, and
any,
then
any others?
the only other thing I mentioned, besides Magic the Gathering Arena,
Right.
which we have been playing and will be playing, is that this past Friday when we did our regular video game stream, we played some more Marvel's Avengers because
Okay.
that we just got the update for that, the final update for the definitive edition that we didn't pay for, but now that the game is not available anymore.
Is it taken down from
That
storefronts?
I don't know because I mean I own it, so I haven't looked into that. But the just the like customer support for it is gone, and you don't have to do the microtransactions for the costumes or the skins or whatever anymore because
Cool.
Yeah, they give you everything.
they're not doing that anymore.
Store's not there, so
now
here,
we have
just
it all,
That's
but-
that's at least cool of them to do that instead of just what you have at end of service is what you get.
Correct. Yeah, and I mean I feel bad for people that paid for stuff because now I have it all, and
Also true.
and honestly I was very unimpressed by the skins that I saw, which were so
Also, trying to play it was difficult. It was very glitchy and
because
all
it
over the
always
place.
was. It always was.
Yeah.
I mean, just oof.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
But this past time was the worst it had ever been, I feel like.
Probably, yeah. I mean, they released the final update to bring it up to definitive edition for everybody, and then they released a hotfix, the last scheduled hotfix.
Yeah.
But I assume there will be like one more maybe, as long as the studio still exists enough and they're not like shuffling people out the door while somebody's trying to get the last code fix out or whatever.
Yeah.
But
For my part, I haven't been playing anything new and interesting. I'm actually kind of frustrated that I've been so busy this past week. I haven't been able to touch Mass Effect Andromeda, which I started playing again. Watching the San Marble Rally Season 6 finished over the weekend.
Wow.
So I watched Diecast Racing League, which there was a very dangerous Mustang. So you watch what you're cheering over there.
Cheer for not everything but Mustangs.
And then San Marble Rally was actually like I get into it. I got like vocal during the last race because I was rooting for one marble that did very well at the start of the season. Had like 3 first place finishes in the start of the season, and then of a 10 race schedule, 8 and 9 DNF'd. Was still in the lead for the standings, but it was like really close with one other marble, which then DNF'd almost out the gate. So I'm like, hey, we got a really good midway through.
wow.
I'm like, no!
Wow.
Oh.
That's crazy.
So congratulations to Slimer for taking the championship, and the one that I was rooting for off the podium by 1 point.
Wow. That sucks.
That's what I get into. It's like it's gravity and random chance, but it's
that's cool though. Is
fun.
that one of the leagues that like gained a lot of popularity during the pandemic?
It did, yeah. Like so San Marble Rally is the first one they did, but they also do like Marble League.
Okay.
And that's John Oliver presents. You
Okay.
know, that I think in 2020 John Oliver's like sponsored.
I
for that
think
one,
I remember that episode or whatever where he talked about it.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's really cool.
and then reading, Over, I'll sort of say it. Over the weekend, I had the immense privilege to be working on the audiobook for my novel, How We Stopped the Destroyers.
So cool.
So it was a really cool weekend where I met up with my friend Brian, who is going to be narrating it. Well, did narrate it. And we headed to a friend's place in the Catskills, where they have like their house, and then behind their house is a barn. The previous owners had built the barn around a couple of bowling lanes salvaged from an alley that was shutting down. And then, they had also put in like a bar area and such. And now my friends that are there now turn the upstairs of that barn into a recording studio. And, they just outfitted it with a whisper room, like soundproof booth. And it was just, their equipment was really cool. But
So cool.
It's very cool.
more than that, so Brian was in the booth for at least 20 hours all told from Friday through Sunday,
Wow.
probably more like 24.
Wow.
There's a lot of breaks, a lot of step out, a lot of lozenge in between takes,
Sure.
so a lot of
Yeah.
step out, stretch, breathing exercises, turn on the fans to get this stank out. you know?
Yep.
It
Does he
was-
do like tea or honey or anything like that? Or
Yeah, so when we would go back to the house, he would do like tea with honey and such. But then he also had just a pack of lozenges that anytime that we took a quick break, he would pop it in and get it to, get it all around there, and then just take the lozenge back out and set it on the wrapper on the stand kind
Sure.
of thing. And,
Yep.
But yeah, so this is 240 pages, and we did 90 pages on the first day. Then I think just over 80, leaving us with 65 pages on the third day.
Okay.
Which you would think would be a shorter day.
I was just
and
gonna
it was
say, yeah.
slightly, but that was also his voice was getting kind of hoarse.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
we took it easy. Fortunately, we had the time to do it. And then, it was just, it had this really cool, artist retreat feel. Because, we're up in the Catskills. They're, on a river. Across the river is a bald eagle nest.
That's awesome.
It
Very
was
cool.
it was a really cool time. So
Wow.
I never got around to marking the book read on Goodreads. So I did this past weekend of starting it here and just opening it up. And, it was Brian was reading. Terry down there, he was the sound engineer. He was, taking care of the recording and taking really studious notes for whenever there was a restart or just
Gotcha.
a big breath or an event, he said.
Sure.
And I'm just sitting along here, and half of my notes were, I actually prefer his second take of this one instead of the final take.
Okay.
And then a couple were like, oh, that's a typo. Oh, that needs an end quote. Oh, that should be italicized.
That's cool.
It's not enough to say a second edition, but I'm going to surreptitiously update the text on the self-publish.
Sure. That's cool though.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
But no, it was a really cool time. It was an awesome experience, and now I need to write another book so I can go back there and do it again.
Sure. There you go. There's your
I like
incentive.
That's what we kept saying, so it's I guess I got to do it now. If only I didn't come back and have a freaking busy week like you guys have. I've got this tonight. Tomorrow I've got a D&D session. Thursday
Nice.
I've got my stream. Friday I've got a wedding.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, because I was going to say, you talked about how many hours are in the booth. I know that, after our 12-hour stream on Thursday, going into Friday where I've got to film another video that's going to be an hour and a half long, I'm always waking up Friday morning please be okay, voice.
Yeah,
I need,
come on.
I need you to work today.
It's been a little bit since I've done them, but I have done 12-hour streams, and don't always go into them with the most discipline as far as metering, screaming, and such like
Yep.
that. But of course, it also doesn't help that some of the voices that Brian did for characters were some that were rougher on his voice.
Sure.
So, but yeah, we took a lot of breaks. He was maybe in the booth for 7.5 hours on the first day, even though, it was a total 10-hour from start to finish.
Right.
So taking a lot of breaks to step out, an hour for lunch,
Sure.
just that kind of thing. So,
Sure.
and yeah, the next day he was maybe slightly hoarse.
Right.
Sunday was maybe slightly, but he made it, and Monday he was fine. So
Good.
Love Alec, thank you for the lurk. Welcome.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, so that was my weekend, and then today was my first day back at work, and it was buy the book, please. Buy the book.
Did you show them the book?
This book has been on the set for a while, so go to press-enter .net/destroyers to check out all the ways that you can get a copy. The paperback is available online from Amazon, as well as I think like Barnes & Noble has a listing for it as well.
Nice.
And you can get it from Northshire Bookstore here in Saratoga Springs or in Manchester Center, Vermont. There's plenty of ways to get a physical copy of the book, and if you do ebooks, then it's available on Kindle, Kobo, Nook, Google, and Apple. So plenty of ways to get it. So
Very nice.
just search for How We Stop the Destroyers by Andrew Buchanan. That's me. People being surprised that my name is Andrew.
I'm more surprised your last name doesn't have bug in it.
It does.
In spelling, it does, but it's not
That's
pronounced as
Pronunciation.
Steph was called Bug by a coworker at one point way back. So I when we got married, I kind of grabbed that part and attached it to Boater.
That's great.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Let's see, where are we? Okay, so we still got half the show left. So I don't know what it hasn't. I don't think it's been a super busy week when it comes to gaming news. There's been a few things though. So
Sure.
I don't know if you want to take the lead.
Sure. I know that one that stood out to me that made me smile a fair bit was
Okay.
we had a video game movie come out
Yeah,
that
kind of happened.
that did quite well.
Yeah.
And that, at least from the few sources that I've heard, seemed to enjoy it.
Okay.
So there's that as well. But the Super Mario movie, in fact, has, according to Eurogamer, has beaten Frozen 2 to become the biggest animated film debut of all time.
That feels really wild to me
It's
because
crazy.
what I heard from the movie critically is that it is an Illuminations movie. And if you go into it expecting a level of film craft and such as Minions had, then you're good. If you're expecting, something more nuanced, you're not going to get it. But they can tell an entertaining story, and entertaining visuals, and they've got the cast behind it. So
Yes. Yeah, because I know there was a lot of how's Chris Pratt going to do Mario? But the other...
I haven't heard a single thing about that since release.
No.
I haven't heard anything about his performance.
I mean, I'm personally more interested in seeing how Charlie Day, Jack Black, and Seth Rogen type individuals do.
Yeah.
Because they can be more cartoonish, literally. So
they're character actors. Chris Pratt is not.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw the trailer for that movie and we saw who was in it, and we found out who each person was going to be playing, I was very surprised.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure how they were going to make that work, but apparently people like it. We haven't seen the movie yet, but
No.
we certainly
Same.
plan to.
We're looking forward to it, though.
My friends who have seen it have mostly enjoyed it. For the most part, it's hey, my kids loved it. We had a good time, a lot of laughs. It is I don't want this to sound demeaning. It is an excellently crafted popcorn movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
and
Which sometimes
that's great.
Yeah, sometimes you just need that.
I saw someone, taking that kind of thing to lament, why don't we have a term like popcorn movie in other entertainment genres?
Yeah.
We don't have, there are games that you play just for, to shut your brain off and do whatever for a while, but we
Yep.
don't have a term for it. Movies do. Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My phone is not cooperating any longer, unfortunately.
You know what Seth Rogen's going to be like. He only has one setting. I guess I'll go back to watching really quick. I was very interested that I did see Jack Black in something this past week.
Okay.
Because I've been watching The Mandalorian.
Oh.
And so, at first, doors open and Din and Bo-Katan walk into a room, and I kind of... It looks familiar. I kind of do this, and Steph's like, is that Jack Black? And I'm like, I think it is. And then there's Lizzo sitting right next to him.
Wow.
And then a couple scenes later, there's Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, okay.
It
right,
was
right.
the guest episode.
Nice.
I went on Twitter on Thursday, and I saw Christopher Lloyd trending. I was like, oh no.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
That's the word. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't see him
for
trending,
those-
but we saw the picture of him from the episode. so.
For those that didn't hear, I went onto Twitter and saw Christopher Lloyd trending. Oh no.
Not okay. That's when you go to the trending page for that, and you look for the one GIF of Denzel Washington going. Because someone always does it. They always post that one GIF of Denzel Washington doing that, and it's like, okay, now I know that they're not dead. We can move on.
Yeah. The next day I saw the character poster for Jack Black's character, and then a few hours later the character poster for Lizzo, and then a few hours later I start to scroll down. I'm like, oh, this is probably Christopher Lloyd. No, it's Doc Brown, and it just says the DeLorean. Beach Book might be the best comparison to Popcorn Movie.
I like it.
Beach Read.
Sure.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it like, I think Beach Read might have some like connotations of like specific genre that you're reading, and
Okay.
and some people might be gendered as well. It's not perfect, but I do think that it kind of gets close to that kind of, yeah, for a specific subset.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So on my end, so you talked about Avengers having its kind of like end of life, end of service
Yes.
kind of date where that it's not it might not necessarily be pulled down from stores, whatever, but they're not updating anything new with it.
Right.
Um,
And kind of giving away everything for free at this point. And-
yeah, well, there's different ways to approach that. Dreams is I mentioned it to you a little bit before, but Media Molecule is, I believe, the team that made Little Big Planet. And if you remember Little Big Planet, it was this kind of like side-scrolling platformer, but more than that, it invited players to make their own worlds, to make their own games for other people to play. Dreams was the natural extension of that. It was shown off during the PS4 reveal back in 2013.
Okay.
Didn't actually get released, like early access 2019, actually came out in 2020. But Sony was like, we're going to support a 10-year plan with this game. It is a full-on, people could use the tools in this game to make full-on game systems.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
games for people to play. And sure, they would like be aesthetically linked to other Dreams stuff, but it was still, here's this person's full game that they've made. And there were always going to be features that were on the way, like people were waiting for a way to make multiplayer games, multiplayer experiences. But unfortunately, it looks like that's not going to happen. We are now 4 years into the 10-year plan, and Media Molecule announced that the final date of live support is going to be September 1st.
Wow.
And they're going to be doing a really big server move before then, I think in June. And in doing so, there's going to be some limitations set on what people can do. So those servers are still going to be there. Like, they're not going to be making new content or anything for it starting September. There's not going to be like hot fixes, whatever. But you can still make your games and share them and play them and access them, which I think is really cool.
Sure.
So, they didn't just say, it's not like Multiverses, which is like, oh nope, the game's done, you can't
Yep.
play it anymore.
Yep. Take
Sorry.
everything down, like everything you've worked on.
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. So like there's definitely that, but like with the server move, it's to smaller servers that it's not going to be their main project, so they can't have as much of a money sink. So
Sure.
they're capping like, oh well, you have however much data space of upload cap rather than the unlimited that you've had before. If you've already got it uploaded, it'll stay up, but you would need to delete stuff to make room for new things. Yeah, it's no multiplayer support's going to be in there, and it's kind of stinks. But that said, I never really got into it myself.
Okay.
Looking at some feedback, it was kind of like, yeah, I like the idea of it, but the people who could really make the most of it are people who are already like game devs or were just about to become game devs and then
Right.
would graduate on to making stuff in like Unity or Unreal.
Sure.
It was kind of baby's first game engine,
Yeah.
and then you graduate from there and go on to other stuff.
Yeah, which would be cool for like you said, for like young people coming in to like
Yeah.
gamify it a bit so that they can see if this really is for them, or if they find that it's, oh, this is really tedious. I don't
Yeah.
actually want to do this. I like playing games, but I'm not a developer, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I saw that like it was a very steep learning curve at times too.
Sure.
So I think the idea of it is really cool. It's neat that it was on console too, as opposed to people just learning their way around a game engine. Is usually like, all right, I'll release this game on itch and call it good. It's like just for people on PC to grab. So kind of stinks, but I think like it was sold with physical copies, so you can still go and grab it.
Okay.
So there's that, but I like the concept, and I hope that somebody else kind of picks up the reins on that.
Yeah, because I know that like even on a very, very much smaller scale, but like Mario Maker really took off as
It
like
did.
something that people
And
made so many
I wonder if that's
creative
part
levels.
of the reason
And
that Dreams didn't really take off like they wanted it to, because they had first announced it in 2013. Mario Maker was what, 2016?
that sounds right. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
offhand, but-
roughly around there. After Dreams was announced,
Right.
and then just when Dreams came out, and it was a much higher learning curve than putting something together in Mario Maker.
Right.
Anyone could make a level in Mario Maker.
Yeah.
I could go on right now and make some poopy that somebody could speed run in 7
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
But it still has the complexity of watching the hell levels that Rubber Ross has made.
Yep.
And the fact that we can even like say that, just name a creator that has made notable levels in it.
Sure.
I even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
really saying something,
So-
right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's names like that that people outside of the Dreams community would know about, and the
Right.
Dreams community is smaller than so
Yeah.
Right.
maybe just if we want to see more of an extension of that, we'll just see Mario Maker getting more and more features.
Yeah, because I
That'd be
know
great.
that they recently stopped support for Mario Maker 1, but that's because Mario Maker 2 was a thing, and they were
Yeah.
able to just add to that or whatever. And
Yeah, and that can be like iterative, and you see people like, hey, I had my level in Mario Maker 1, I'm gonna recreate it in Maker 2.
exactly. Or now
Or-
you can make it as a new Super Mario
Yeah,
World or whatever
yeah,
style,
yeah,
which you
yeah.
couldn't do in 1 or
Exactly.
whatever. So you have those like other options and stuff too.
Maybe we'll start seeing other franchises of games starting to make a
I would-
maker
I would-
style of game.
I think-
Depending on the style, I would like that. I would like that idea.
I
I
think
think
that's
it's good.
cool.
It'd be really hard to compete against what Mario does in the space. But that said, if anyone could do it, or like could reach that kind of parity, whatever, parity, not parody, parity
Yeah.
of zeitgeist, it would be if Nintendo released a Zelda Maker.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
that
is
would
ironic
be-
because then they're competing with themselves, but like just still like having that
but
idea.
yeah, being like different genres of people, like starting to make like 3D style stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, I think that would be really interesting for people, even if it didn't get the kind of support that Mario Maker really did or does. I think it would be like a more interesting sort of niche thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
for people.
This would make me scared to back anything based on these kind of promises, because we know the money always wins. Yeah, like, especially like if something comes out, it's like a free-to-play live service, whatever. Most of the time, I expect, with very few exceptions, those end up failing. Like, again, we talk multiverses, which came out of beta. Shut up. And we'll be back next year. No, you're just waiting for us to forget about it, and then you're just gonna bury it in the backyard. But yeah, like live service stuff, especially like free to play. That's why like the kind of video games that I like to play, because I don't like to rely on the goodwill of a company to keep it up and running. The
Sure.
kind of games that I play are, I buy it, I own it, I play it on the hardware.
Yep.
It doesn't have an online component. I play single player, but not everyone has those game preferences. So.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, and it hasn't come up for many that I've heard stories of, thankfully. But I know people about Magic the Gathering Arena, for example, who have talked about the fact that, like, I mean, because we make content out of it, we've put some money into getting some of the currency for that game to enter into events and stuff
Yeah.
because we need to make content, right? So, and that's a choice that we make. But when we do that, whatever cards that we pick end up in our digital collection.
Yeah.
If and when that game goes down, that money disappears into the ether because they're digital assets that we don't own. Like, we
Yeah.
purchased them, but we don't own them.
Yeah,
and so that all
outside
just
of
goes
the
away.
ecosystem of the game, there's no way to do anything with them.
Right.
Correct.
There's
So-
a mobile game that I spend not a ton, but I would buy like the season pass equivalent.
Sure.
For events for maybe 3 or 4 months at the beginning of this year, end of last year, and then I went like all in on one event, and it was enough to get me to stop playing the game and break my addiction to it.
Yeah.
So it's like that is money that I spent and I kind of consider it as like money that I spend for that period of enjoyment, not for perpetuity.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Not for until the last surviving descendant of the house of the royal family.
Yep.
Taking it for what it is. Like you spend money on anything really, but we'll say digital assets.
Sure.
You have it's kind of like when you spend money on a Kickstarter, you got to be ready to eat that cost if that's how it goes.
Right, if it doesn't finish up or whatever. In
Yeah.
fact, I got my phone to cooperate, so I apologize for having looked down a lot, but I actually was able to make it work. And one of the other stories that that had come up recently was the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Uh-huh.
I
I don't know if this is a woo.
I was gonna.
I know it's not a woo, but that game's still fun.
Yes, I remember. I mean, I still have that game on original console, but yeah, there are now microtransactions in the game.
How? What? Oh, costumes?
So yes, it says specifically.
Sorry, that was me going through a few of the stages of grief.
Yeah, it says the premium content added alongside the much anticipated and free Mercenaries DLC mode
Okay.
has been introduced to give players, quote, access to a weapons exclusive upgrade at any time. And so it says, to gun enthusiasts, knife collectors, and lovers of weapons of any and all kinds, here's your ticket to the gun show. Specifically, a ticket to be redeemed at the merchant's shop.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, just
I
being
mean,
able to buy a weapon by buying the currency that then you spend in game and by giving to the shady dude in the forest. Or
yeah,
whatever.
with the trench coat or everything.
yeah,
opens.
full of Rolex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rolex.
With this, you'll have access to a weapons exclusive upgrade at any time, regardless of the weapon's level. Not only that, but once unlocked, the upgrade itself is free of charge.
Going back really quick,
Please.
I'm still saying this is what worries me about the access model of video game purchases. I don't want to lose my copy when they pull the plug, and that's like I've kind of like lost that battle against myself on PC, but like on consoles, I prefer to get a physical version.
Sure.
Pop in the disc, even if like then you find out that oh no, the game isn't on the disc. It's just enough to like download from servers or something.
Yeah.
On PC, like PC, if you get disc, it is like all right, cool. Here's an installer for EA Origin.
Right.
And then so Dudicrus saying that the currency that you would buy with real dollary dues is something that you can also earn in game.
Oh, good. Okay.
But it's an easy mode. It's a skip some of the grinding.
Yeah,
kind
which
of
I
thing.
mean that
Sure.
sounds like a microtransaction to me.
Well,
Although that's a better version of it.
it's a better version of it, but also like it's a single player game.
Yeah.
Just why are you paying to play the game less? Why? Hold up. Why are you paying to play less of the game? Sorry. You can see that hit me in real time.
Clout chasing, I suppose.
Oh my god.
It's like, look, I have this thing. Well, did you buy it or did you actually grind for it?
Yeah. What?
Well,
Did you play the game to get it, or did you? Hold up, I'm about to. Or did you buy the book just to look pretty on your bookshelf?
Oh yeah, I bought a professor's book once in college, but it was my law professor in college.
Okay.
I bought one of his books that he had like an event that he released, and he like signed it, and he said like, "Don't let this sit on your shelf." And I genuinely don't think I cracked the binding.
I got a book called Dead Astronauts by Jeff Vandermeer, and I picked it up because it was so darn pretty.
Okay.
It's this very kind of like sort of like slightly psychedelic rainbow effect of the jacket that just looks very cool.
Nice.
And then underneath the jacket, the hardcover has like a foil inlay with like some quotes on it. It is a gorgeous book. I read it, and I regret the time that it took me to do so. It was Jeff Vandermeer's writing is very esoteric. His writing style is very esoteric. And if you enjoy that kind of thing, then great. There was a story under all of that. I mostly followed what was going on. It was a difficult read and not what I normally look for when I'm reading sci-fi.
Sure.
But most books that I start or whatever like that, I end up being like, if you guys want a copy of the book A Sky Without Stars, which is a sci-fi version of Les Miserables, let me know, because
Wow.
I'm looking to get rid of my copy.
Wow.
But that Dead Astronauts is one that is going to stay on my shelf because it's so damn pretty.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just for the decorative aspect of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Amoxicillin, you come up with such a good point, because adults have 2 jobs nowadays and have to cram their fun into a smaller time frame. And why are you working 2 jobs if not to say, you know what, fine, I'll spend the real dollars so I have the thing and can just play the game at my own enjoyment.
Yeah,
Especially when it's a single-player game. Play it how you enjoy, I
Sure,
guess.
and
I
that's
can't-
fine. I'm the type of person who, like, I'm not I'm not the type of person who cares necessarily about skins and stuff. I mean, as I said, we played Marvel's Avengers and we were just like, we looked at the skins for Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, and we were like, oh, okay,
We were like, some of these are.
there sure are a lot of these, and none of them stand out as
Yeah, and most of
interesting.
them
Like,
would be like, from this comic run or that comic run, kind of thing.
yeah, and it's like, why does she have antenna, or are those headphones? And but here she's purple and her hair is green, but normally she's like
Yeah.
a regular person and has like
Yeah.
black hair. Like, it's very straight. Why? Okay, sure.
Yeah, I shouldn't yuck in someone's yum, especially when it's a single player game and you're not harming anybody by, if it's a multiplayer game where you're skipping the grind with money, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Do not.
Yeah.
A single player game, go for it. Who the hell am I to tell you how to play your game?
Sure.
It's, it obviously strikes me as weird, but I'm not everybody.
Right.
Right.
Everybody plays games in their own fashion.
I also wanted to point out Lily's news saying, speaking of books, I just ordered a new one, How We Stopped the Destroyers.
Thank you, Lily. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, it's really funny, actually. So my friend Brian, who's doing the... I'm sorry, I'm going back to that. My friend Brian, who was doing the narrating, he posted just like a picture of that and like with the cover art of the book. And one of his friends, who is not like a mutual friend or anything, was like, "Oh yeah, I just like picked that up from my local bookstore." She was at Northshire and saw it there and was like, "Hey, this looks cool."
Wow.
And just grabbed
And
it.
just
That's
bought it.
awesome.
You didn't
It's
even
like-
know it was your book.
Yeah, no,
That's
was
awesome.
So cool.
That's really cool.
And yeah, Dude Icarus, if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll bring it to you. That Les Mis in space. It's literally like I am still working my way through advanced reading copies that I grabbed from the store when I was working at the bookstore, which has been over 3 years at this point. That book, according to the spine, comes out in March 2019. So,
Oh.
I got the advanced copy from before then. I finally cracked open at the beginning of the year and got like through Act 1, and I was like, this is just not for me.
Yep.
I'm intrigued by it.
It's the premise, very interesting.
I mean, I know for me, the types of movies I like are the more weird or B or like
Yeah.
C movie it is, the more I like it.
Yep.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a good number of those where it's like, ugh, what is this? And you're like, it's amazing is what it is.
It's the greatest thing ever. Why would someone think of this?
Yeah.
Just the concepts of X with Y, or just anything in space. Another one that I'd gotten a couple books and I brought them back. And I'm like, I haven't touched this one. Let me look at this. Let me look it up on Goodreads. Okay, so it's Martian students that go cultural exchange program on Earth, and then when they come back to Mars, they don't like really belong on Mars, but they still don't belong on Earth because they're, and it's like, oh, it's allegorical for like Chinese that go to school in the United States and then come back and not really belong to either world.
Right.
There's more to it than that, but it's also 600 pages
Jesus.
and light on plot and heavy on character introspection. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna say no on that one.
Yeah, I still remember. I don't like this was many years ago, but I remember somebody who I used to work with telling me about like a blurb about a book that they were reading, and they were like, "Yeah, it's a series," and maybe somebody even knows it based on what I say, but it was like a series about what happened if the other side won World War II. And like how the world would look in that case. And I was like, okay, like this at least for me was before the boom of like everything is World War II, you know? And so it sounded intriguing to me. And then like they were like, but by the third series or by the third book in the series, it was like, now what if that world is invaded by aliens? And I was like, wait, you went in such a different direction with that one. Why?
I will say one that took me a long time
Indiana
to get
Jones
through.
and the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein. One that I read that took me a long time to get through was called For Want of a Nail. And it was, what if Burgoyne had won at Saratoga, thus letting the British win the American Revolutionary War.
Wow.
And so it was presented in the style of this kind of dry history text, complete with footnotes from fictional publications and stuff like that.
Wow.
It took a while to get through, but it was still a very enjoyable read.
Okay.
But it did not have a sequel that ended up getting aliens from space.
Clearly not good enough.
Yeah, right? I'd be interested
Now
in
you know what your next book is going to be.
Hey, there we go. I'd almost be interested in like someone following it up though, because that was written in like the 80s or something. So I'd be interested to see how that world continues kind of paralleling our own. But
sure,
it did its thing. It did what it needed to. It was good at it. It's why I love Left 4 Dead. The premise of a cheesy B horror movie with zombies has a special spot in my soul. Yeah, you know your comfort food.
Sure.
You like that the kind of zombie movie that was big in the mid 20aughts.
Yeah.
And Left 4 Dead was such a pure distillation of that idea.
Yeah, it is funny. I heard discussions like that with Magic the Gathering. Sorry, it's our thing.
That's fine. I keep bringing up books. You keep bringing up Magic. It's fine.
One of the secret layers that Magic put out, where they did a collaboration with an existing IP. In fact, I believe the first one was with Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
And the cards were exclusive cards, where nowadays if they do a secret layer, what Magic tries to do is they'll say, look, we're going to do this and we're going to release Optimus Prime as a card, but in a year we're going to release a regular Magic card that has the same ability, so that if you didn't get that card, you can still have the card that's like a different art, different name, but the same ability if you want to put it in the deck.
Immersion breaking, but you have those powers.
Right,
Cool.
so that it's not an exclusive where if this becomes competitive and you want it in a deck, well, it's $500, and like it's like backbreaking. But the Walking Dead one is currently still exclusive, even though it was the first one that they did. And so when that happened, a ton of people just started crapping on Walking Dead. They were like, it's a dead franchise. And I'm like, I still watch the franchise and love it, like a lot. Like, there's no way it's a dead like, just because you're salty about what the company decided to do doesn't mean that the IP that you like that they associated with deserves your ire like that. Like, I
think they did a good job on those cards too.
They looked awesome.
The artists that they got to do the arts, I thought they did an amazing job of making the art look just like the actors from the show.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, because for people
really
familiar, for people familiar with the show, they did Rick Grimes, Michonne, Negan, Carol, Glenn, and Daryl.
Okay. And
then they did an equipment card for people familiar with Magic. They did an equipment card of Lucille the Bat.
Oh, perfect.
So
yeah. I've gotten one secret lair set. And it's not one that they needed to worry about releasing for mechanics, whatever, because they were all lands.
Oh, okay.
It was the Bob Ross set.
Yes, absolutely. I think maybe Vladdy picked that up for himself, if I remember correctly.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I ended up, my sister had pointed out, oh, hey, this is coming out, and then, it's kind of forgot about it, so I ended up grabbing two, one for her, one for me.
Nice.
So.
There's a new Bob Ross movie coming out.
Yes. I forget who plays him.
Heard about
like it's like one of the Wilson brothers.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Which is odd. I don't know about that casting choice either.
Yeah, it seems strange.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because when you look at like casting, you're like, how would that possibly? And then you see like a trailer come out, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Taron Egerton, I think is his name, playing Elton John.
For Elton John, we saw that movie. I like that movie.
Rocked him.
Yeah.
Rocked him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, he's a great singer too because he was in that the Sing series, the duo movies.
Weird Al, who played it was
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
I
there's
haven't
always
seen
like
that one. So
like-
I
No,
don't know.
neither did I. I'm
I
looking
haven't
forward to
watched
it.
it because I don't like biopics, and I know it's a parody of biopics, but I still not being a fan of what it's parodying means I'm probably not going to
Okay,
enjoy just
fair
the
enough.
overall format, whatever
Sure.
of it.
Okay.
Sure.
Like if I want, like I would watch like an act, I would just go watch the Weird Al Behind the Music again.
Sure.
Okay.
VH1 Behind the Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you can say like, oh, that casting is really weird, but it's like I'll wait until a trailer comes out.
Sure.
I waited until the trailer comes out before I was like, Chris Pratt, really? Here we go.
Was it Kristen Stewart who was doing Princess Diana or something? Was that it?
Oh yeah,
Where
I
she
haven't
was like,
seen that either.
Yeah, but where like you looked at her and she looked so like she looked very
I don't
close.
know what they did.
I mean, she's like if your only exposure to Kristen Stewart is like she did Twilight, didn't she? She forgets she did Twilight. Like,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
Yeah, she's got like talent and range and stuff. And then like let's not discount the work of like wardrobe
Yeah.
and makeup.
Yeah.
What they do too.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and
So-
the things they can do with CG now to make people look more like the person that they're depicting.
yeah, you can see that too.
Yeah.
So
The one that I was really shocked by was when Renee Zellweger, is that who it is? And she played why is it not coming to my mind?
I
Judy
don't remember.
Garland.
Oh.
I was shocked. I was like,
Whoa.
oh my god.
Okay.
Like the mannerisms down to like a T. I mean, it was insane.
That's awesome.
I thought.
That's wild. Yeah, because we can say wardrobe whatever, but it does come back to the actor being able to hit mannerisms and such too.
And I assume like if they have the time to do the research of like watching
Yeah.
films of because if you're doing her life, right, you don't want to do unless you're also doing her in a particular role. You don't want to watch her in a role. You want to watch interviews or something that she did, or like living her life and how she spoke and things like that as well. So you're kind of looking at secondary sources of like, again, news people interviewing her, things like that.
At one point over the weekend, I was talking to Brian about how I had watched all of the Star Wars movies in chronological order before Episode 9 came out, which meant that I watched Solo before Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
And I said, it was really weird because I had this moment of, wow, Billy D. Williams is doing a really good job of acting like how Donald Glover did. It called back the other way.
Amazing. Love that.
That's funny.
Some alchemy when the actors be acted and they kill the performance.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, I think this is about where we call it. So we gotta make way for the shack. So if
Yeah.
you're interested, make sure you stick around here. We go offline for about 5 minutes, then the countdown starts, and then Steve will be playing
CarQuest.
CarQuest, followed by, I assume, Jedi Fallen Order. I was expecting you to just say Jedi Fallen Order, and then I would have said, that's right, CarQuest.
Almost did.
I almost got you. Next time. So make sure that you stick around for that, and of course, all of the awesome programs that we've got on this channel. Make sure that you're following. We've got a ton of great people and great programs on at least 5 days a week, and sometimes more. So make sure you're here. You can follow Joe and Amy, youtube.com/geekforall,
That's right.
as well as...
Yeah, I mean, once you're on Geek
Yeah.
for All, you can find everything else, but it's Geek for All, video games for all, and gluten-free for all. Sorry, were you about
Yes,
to say it? and I
subscribe
just-
and ring those bells.
Exactly. That's right. Absolutely.
So thank you again so much for joining today. It's always a treat to have you on.
I was
Thanks
just going to
for
say,
having us.
yeah, always a pleasure to be here.
I didn't even get to talk about the D&D movie. Next time.
Oh,
Because I've
yeah.
heard good things.
We saw it and it was
We
great.
saw it.
Awesome.
We liked
Okay.
We
it.
cool.
loved it.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Steph said it was good too, so I have to see it this weekend, I guess.
Yes.
My first free moment. I guess I'm going to the movies. So Thank you, everybody, for watching. I guess your first free moment, go to the movies as well, or get a book. I know one, maybe. Anyway, that's enough.
One
Thank
book in
you.
particular.
Thank you all so much for watching. Stick around for the shack, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.